Hey everybody, it's Justice for Comics. Wanted to shoot this video to highlight the CBSI Hot 10 comics that have come out for this week or that are highlighted for this week by comicbookinvest.com. So let's jump into it here with the top 10 list. Let me go down to starting with issue number 10, or number 10 on the list is Reborn number 1. This was a series by Mark Millar and Greg Capullo. Obviously, I bought it when it came out, mainly because of Greg Capullo. I like his artwork. And Mark Millar, a lot of his writing I like, some of it I don't. It's kind of hit or miss for me. I find him to be where he'll write a good series, and then the compelling writing, and then the next series will be blah blah, not that great. So Reborn for me just wasn't that great. It was okay. It wasn't like riveted and couldn't wait for the next issue kind of thing. I do feel that way about his new series, Magic Order. I think that is very well written and kind of leaves you in suspense. And I did also feel that way about, what was the series about? The comic book hero, the heroes that come back from that island. I can't remember right now. That it'll come to me in a second, but that one I liked. So it's kind of like 50-50 with Mark Millar. Every other comic book series he does, I either like it or don't, or just don't care about it that much. So Reborn, I might end up selling my series. I think it's just a 6-issue series. If the price jumps up on that, I might just liquidate, use that money for something else. But Reborn's not one of those books that I don't think it has a lot of staying power long term. I just think it's okay. It's just not that fantastic in my opinion. So that might be one I will sell. But it looks like Sandra Bullock might be in a Netflix movie. So I can understand that. I mean, it's getting the book some attention. It's number one selling $15 to $20. So, yeah. I mean, if you own that series, that's good. It's getting a little bit of heat on it right now. Number 9 on the list, Phantom Lady number 17. I don't know. This is an older book. Looks like it's probably from the 50s or earlier. I know Matt Baker is a popular artist from that period. There's a lot of people, Golden Age, Silver Age collectors that like his artwork. It's kind of an interesting cover, a little risque for its time, no doubt about it. And a 3.0 just sold this week for $3,800. So obviously it's a fairly rare book. Probably doesn't come up on eBay very often. And it's quite a big jump from its last recorded graded sale at $1,400 back in, looks like 2011. So that's an artist that a lot of people look for to collect, and that's the reason the book's jumping. Nothing I would really be looking for, but there's some segment of the community, comic community, that likes that type of book. Number 8 on the list, Guardians of the Galaxy number 1. This is the premiere variant. So this was the 2 per store book that comes out on Guardians of the Galaxy. So if you were a comic book shop and you ordered enough copies of Guardians of the Galaxy, you would get 2 copies of this. So even though it says 2 per store, it's probably not every store gets that. You probably have to order a certain minimum. Knowing Marvel, you probably have to order a certain amount to get that variant. So it's selling $45 to $50, which is understandable. They had the same kind of thing with Conan. They had a premiere variant that was also 2 per store, and I've seen sales on eBay for that like around $10. It's crazy. So, who knows? I mean, this book might drop back down. If you want to buy it, maybe wait a little bit and see if after a couple weeks you might find a few people that will be dumping it, looking to sell it, and they'll probably sell it in that maybe $15 to $20 range. So I'd be a little cautious on buying that book right now if you really are looking for it. Number 7, Blossom 666, number 1, the Robert Hack variant. Cullen Bunn's the writer. He's a great writer. I don't know much about the artist of the interiors, Laura Braga. I'm not too familiar with her. But the cover looks interesting. It's got a skull on it. It's kind of an interesting cover. And, you know, it's a horror book. It's Archie. I'm not really a collector of Archie, so, you know, if that appeals to you, it looks like it's selling around $15 to $20. And that just came out like I think it was last week, so it's pretty recent. Next one on the list, number 6, Die Kitty Die. This is the number 3. This is the Heaven and Hell Dan Parent variant. So basically, it's an homage to Bewitched. Yeah, this was a regular priced variant. Obviously, I wish I had bought it because it's now selling between $40 and $50. And number 4, the variant for number 4 also sold out at Midtown, and that's probably getting around $10 to $15 pretty easily for that. So, you know, it's a hot book. Probably, you know, nothing I am really interested in collecting, and it's pretty low print run. I doubt I would find that in a local comic book shop, but you know, if you want to wait a little bit, that's probably what I would do. Is just if you really wanted to buy that because you like the cover or something, or you want to collect the series, maybe wait a little bit. It probably will die down a little bit in price. Number 5, Uncanny X-Men. Number 10, the David Finch variant. I kind of agree with CBSI here. They basically said, to be honest, I don't know why this has jumped to a $30 book, but it has. Supply seems plentiful. The artwork is good, but doesn't look outstanding. But what do I know? All right. I mean, it's a nice cover. David Finch does a good job. I mean, it's a nice Wolverine in that classic costume. It's pretty cool, but $30, yeah, I might wait a little bit. If you know, I'm not a big collector of Finch artwork, so you know, someone who's really into David Finch might want to go after that right now. But you know, again, a lot of these books are jumping up and then they settle back down a little bit. So that one might be one that could settle back down in price. Alita Battle Angel number 1. So the movie looks pretty cool. I watched the trailer. It looks fantastic. I think James Cameron's involved in it. So it looks like it's going to do well. It looks well done. The CGI special effects look pretty nice. So this is an early 90s book that no one was paying attention to until very recently. And it says here that raw sales are well over $100, and the original miniseries just sold for over $300. So there's probably not a lot of these books out there. It's a low print run. Not too sure of the publisher, but looks like it's a Japanese artist and writer. Yeah, if you have that in your collection, congratulations. The movie is pumping up the price of that book. But for me, you know, it's nothing I would hunt down. I guess if I randomly saw it in a store, I would buy it if it was cheap. But you know, this is one of those books that I think it's hot right now. The movie comes out and the price dies again. So, you know, I wouldn't chase it if I were you. I'd probably stay clear of that one. Number 3 on the list, Immortal Hulk number 12. The Immortal Hulk series, I've been saying for a long time, has been fantastic. It's one of the best Marvel books being written right now. You've got a first appearance in this issue of the One Below. I had pre-ordered this book, the A cover. I didn't pre-order any of the other variants. So quickly the other day, I went in on eBay and I bought the Guardians of the Galaxy variant for like $10 with shipping. So I got a good price on that. Now it looks like it's consistently selling above $20. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely a book that, you know, even at $15 is probably worth buying if you didn't pre-order this, or if your local shop is probably sold out of these. You know, I was in my shop on Wednesday and they did have a couple still on the wall, but not anymore. They're gone. So that's going to be one of those books where, it's if you want a first appearance of somebody, you're gonna be probably paying $15 or $20 at least for a little while here, and then if that character's more developed, you could see the price rise even higher. So I would not wait too long to at least jump on at least one copy of that book. So I'm highly recommending Immortal Hulk number 12. Number 2 on the list, Shazam number 1. Obviously, the movie's coming out. There's some buzz on that. Yeah, it says here, while 99.9% of us will never be able to even sniff the Captain America's actual first appearance, this reappearance after the Golden Age is a decent alternative, hitting all-time highs in 9.8 condition right now at around 1,300. So, yeah, I mean, if you like Shazam, the character, I don't really care for the character that much. I think the best thing I saw regarding Shazam was in Kingdom Come. I think they did a great rendition of him in that. That's, to me, that's Shazam, is Kingdom Come, because I'm not familiar with the early issues, never really collected it. I know there was a TV series when I was a kid, but I didn't really pay much attention to it. So yeah, if you're interested in that book, you can probably pay a good amount of money here, but certainly more affordable than the Golden Age appearance. Number 1 on the list is the 100-page giant Superman number 7. So if you happen to be at a Walmart maybe a week and a half ago, these just hit, and you could have bought it for $5, and now it's selling around 15. I shopped at Walmart over the weekend and looked to see if there was any in stock. There wasn't. They were all gone. So somebody in the area obviously knew that this book was hot, picked all the copies up probably, and that's who's putting it on eBay. It's people that go to Walmart on a regular basis and knew about this, that it was a hot book. I don't know much about it. I guess there's some storyline in there about Lois Lane that have people up in I don't know if it's controversial, I guess. What's funny is Tom King, he writes this controversial story about Lois Lane, but he's also complained about the artwork being objectifying women, I guess, and he basically had the artwork pulled on Heroes in Crisis. I think it's number 5 that's coming out. They changed the cover, and I like the original cover. I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, whatever. Tom King, he's some people like him, some don't. He's kind of like Mark Miller for me. Like 50% of the time he's good, and then 50% of the time he's not that great. So he's not a bad writer. It's just he's just not that great. I didn't like Mr. Miracle, was not very good. The first issue got me interested, and then all the other issues basically got worse and worse, in my opinion. But I liked Vision. I think that Vision miniseries that he did was fantastic. So kind of like Mark Miller for me. Half his stuff is good, half of it isn't. So this would be a book that, yeah, if you're in a Walmart in your area, and maybe just take a look. And I think it's usually near the front of the store when you go to checkout is where they'll have those comic books. So yeah, if you see one, pick one up. $5 book that's instantly worth $15. But I wouldn't go pay $15-$20 for it on eBay, in my opinion. But that's number 1 on the list. All right, guys, that was it. I just wanted to run through that top 10 list, and I got it out pretty quick this week. Last week I was really late on getting this out. So let me know what you think. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications, and please leave a comment. Would love to hear your comments on what you think of this list. All right, thanks, guys.